You just had your best performance review yet. Your manager smiled, said the right things, used words like trajectory and potential. You walked out feeling like it was finally your turn. It wasn't. The decision was made 3 months ago, and you weren't in it. You know the ritual. You prepare, you document your wins, you quantify your impact, you rehearse how to articulate your value without sounding arrogant, you ask for feedback, and actually implement it. You take on the stretch projects, you volunteer for the uncomfortable assignments that nobody else wants. You do everything the career development articles told you to do, and then review season arrives. You sit across from your manager. The conversation is warm, encouraging, full of affirmations that sound like momentum, and then you wait, and then someone else's name gets announced, and you sit there, genuinely confused, trying to figure out what you missed, what you could have done differently, what the gap was between your effort and the outcome. Here's what nobody tells you. There was no gap. The outcome was never connected to your effort in the way you assumed. The performance review is not an input, it's a formality. By the time you're sitting in that room, the decision about your promotion has already been processed, discussed, and quietly finalized, weeks or months before anyone said a word to you. The review isn't where the decision gets made, it's where the decision gets delivered, and the criteria used to make it had almost nothing to do with what happened inside that room. You've been preparing for the wrong meeting your entire career. Here's how it actually works. Promotion decisions live inside a process called calibration. It happens behind closed doors. It involves your manager, their peers, and their manager. You are not present. You are not represented. You are discussed, briefly, as a name attached to a perceived level. And that perception was formed long before calibration started. Your manager walks into that room with a pre-existing view of where you sit relative to everyone else. That view was shaped by impressions, not data. By the moments you were visible in high-stakes situations. By whether your name came up naturally in senior conversations. By whether someone in that room has a personal stake in your advancement. Calibration isn't a review of your work, it's a negotiation between managers about headcount, budget, and political capital. Every manager walks in with a list. Not everyone on the list makes it out, because promotion budget is finite, and the managers with the most influence protect their people first. If your manager doesn't have influence, or doesn't use it for you, your performance data doesn't matter. No one else in that room cares about your numbers. They're managing their own people. And here's the mechanism underneath all of this. Your manager has to spend something to advocate for you. Political capital, relationship goodwill, the credibility of their own judgment. They will only spend that on someone they are certain about. Someone whose promotion reflects well on them, not just on you. If they're uncertain, even slightly, they conserve. They say, maybe next cycle. They tell you the feedback is just about timing. They mean, I didn't fight for you. And I won't say that directly. So the question was never, did you perform well enough? The question was, did someone with power believe in you enough to spend something on your behalf? Those are completely different questions, and only one of them was ever on the table. Here's what happens when you don't understand this. You keep improving the wrong variables, you produce more, you document better, you optimize your self-evaluation language, you get incrementally better at the performance review performance, the theatrical version of competence that the process was never actually measuring. Cycle after cycle, you calibrate yourself to a system that isn't calibrating you back. The cost isn't just the missed promotion, the cost is the compounding misdirection. Every quarter you spend performing for a review that was already written is a quarter you didn't spend building the relationships that actually determine the outcome. Every conversation you had downward, to your team, to your peers, is a conversation you didn't have upward, where the decisions live. The people moving past you are not doing more work, they are doing less, but in more visible places. They are present in the rooms where impressions form. They are known quantities to the people making the calls. You are an excellent unknown, and in a calibration meeting, unknowns don't get promoted, they get deferred. Politely, with language that sounds like encouragement. 5 years from now, you will look back and realize you spent them getting better at something that wasn't being measured, while the actual measurement was happening in rooms you never thought to enter. There's a deeper structure underneath this. Organizations don't actually promote performance, they promote confidence, specifically the confidence of people with power that you will succeed at the next level without embarrassing them. That confidence is not built through work product, it's built through exposure. Exposure means senior people have seen you think in real time, they've watched you handle pressure. They've been in a room where you said something that made them recalibrate their estimate of you upward. That single moment, one conversation, one meeting, one well-placed insight in front of the right person, is worth more than 12 months of excellent execution they never witnessed. Because what senior leaders are actually evaluating is not your past performance, it's their prediction of your future performance. And predictions are based on pattern recognition, not data analysis. If they've never seen you operate, they have no pattern. No pattern means no prediction. No prediction means no promotion. Regardless of what your manager's manager heard secondhand, you've been building a record. They're looking for a signal. Records are for HR files. Signals are for promotion conversations. Consider what this means about the last few years. You've been acting as though promotion is a threshold, a score you cross when your performance reaches a certain level. You've been accumulating evidence, building a case, waiting for the moment when the evidence becomes undeniable. But promotion was never a threshold. It's a bet. Someone has to bet on you, publicly, with their own credibility as the stake. And people don't make bets on evidence they've never seen performed. They make bets on people they know, people they've observed under pressure, people whose trajectory they've been tracking. Not because it was reported to them, but because they were present for it. You've been building a case file for a jury that was never assembled. The decision makers weren't waiting to review your evidence. They were waiting to form a feeling, and feelings come from proximity, not documentation. You didn't lose the promotion because your work was insufficient. You lost it because the right people never developed a feeling about you at all. You were technically present and strategically invisible, and invisibility, at the level where it counts, is indistinguishable from absence. This doesn't require you to become political. It requires you to become deliberate. The people who move up are not always the most ambitious in the room, but they are consistently present in the right rooms. They treat senior relationships as infrastructure, built slowly, maintained quietly, never transactional in the moment but compounding over time. They don't wait to be invited into high visibility situations. They find the edges of those situations and make themselves useful at the margin, until the invitation becomes natural. They understand that a sponsor, someone senior who has privately decided you're worth advocating for, is not a product of your performance. It's a product of a relationship you built before you needed it. And most importantly, they understand that the promotion conversation happens long before promotion season, which means the work of positioning yourself happens in the ordinary moments, the hallway exchange, the post-meeting debrief, the question asked thoughtfully in a room full of people who will remember it. Not performance theater. Genuine presence in the places where perception forms. That's where the decision gets made. Here is the quiet, uncomfortable truth underneath all of this. The system isn't corrupt. It's just human. Humans promote people they trust. Trust comes from familiarity. Familiarity comes from proximity. Proximity is something you have to engineer, because nobody will engineer it for you. The review process exists to give the outcome the appearance of objectivity. The calibration meeting exists to make a social decision look like an institutional one. The feedback language exists to make a political outcome feel like a developmental one. None of it is malicious. All of it is structural. And if you don't understand the structure, you will spend years producing excellent work inside a system that was never designed to surface it automatically. You will be the person who deserved it most and received it last. Not because you were overlooked, but because you were never quite seen by the right people in the right moments, early enough to matter. The promotion was already decided. The only question that was ever open, the one you still have time to answer, is whether you'll be in the room where the next one gets made. The system didn't fail you. You just never learned what game it was actually playing.